Fox Sports Radio, iHeartRadio, right here, FS1. Sometimes when I get a haircut, I can't stop staring at it for days at a time.
You do that a lot.
I do. I stare at my hair.
You'll start the show and you'll be like,
Really into it.
wherever you may be listening.
Look at your hair today. It's luxurious.
It's luxurious.
Yeah, it looks luxurious.
Thank you.
It's very. You can do a lot of stuff with your hair.
I do.
I cannot. This is what it is. And this is
I mean, you can try it. You can try something new.
You know what my daughter did last night? I said, I just went to Twitter and I said, I'm feeling spicy tonight. And she ratioed me. She retweeted me and went, go to bed. And got like 40,000 likes. She ratioed me. I was like, well, come on, my daughter's got
Liv is the best.
Liv is funny. She's very funny. Greg Jennings coming up in 15 minutes. Also, best for last. We do this once every couple of weeks, our soup and sweater rankings for the games of the week. Great games in the fall. A lot of soup. I'm making some soup Sunday. But we start with this. Dak Prescott's value may be more evident than ever as the Dallas Cowboys got flexed out of Sunday Night Football next week. This ticks off Jerry Jones more than losing. This is great for Dak. Dak makes you relevant. Dak's a topic on Monday. Always. Even when you lose with Dak, they score a bunch of points. They don't flex you out with Dak. So this just guarantees Dak's the future, right? So I just want you to think about it. I'm going to ask you a question because I do believe, and it's one of the things my wife's really good at, stay current. Don't cling to things. Don't have a legacy based on yesteryear, okay? So Dallas hasn't been to an NFC championship game in 25 years. That was Troy Aikman, right? So 25 years. That's the longest drought in the NFC, except Detroit and Washington. So let me just ask you a question. And I want you to think about this. I want you to think about this. So the Cowboys they've won since 1995. 4 total playoff games, like wild card games. That's it. Carolina in 25 years has won 9. The Jags have won more. The Jets have won more. The Jets have been to 2 AFC championships. Crazy hot mess. Atlanta's won more. Okay. So let's do a process of elimination. Let me ask you this. So let's put together the franchises. We'll call it kind of the gold standard of the NFL, where we consider the elite franchises. They not only win, they win big games. They're mostly consistent. You just say them and you respect their front office. There's a consistency and excellence and intelligence. They don't overpay for players that often. I think you'd go Packers, Steelers, Ravens, Patriots, Seahawks, Saints. Denver's down now, but the Bolin family was remarkable. I always called Denver the Steelers with a mountain range for a long time. They're just having a down stretch. The Eagles, the Giants, the Chiefs, and the Colts. These are really the elite franchises. Excellence, intelligence. They usually don't overpay. They've had downturns, but they bounce back. Then the second level would be respected. They don't have as many big wins. They've had longer droughts, but I'd say Niners, Vikings, Titans, Atlanta, Rams, and Carolina. Now, I know what you're saying. I mean, the Titans really... All right, I want you to think about the Titans for a second. Let's just think about the Titans, because I know you're rolling your eyes at the Titans. The Titans have a Super Bowl appearance. Dallas doesn't. Beyond that, 2 other conference championships within 25 years. Dallas doesn't. And they have double the playoff wins. Okay, what about hot, crazy Atlanta? 25 years. 2 Super Bowls. 8 playoff wins. Hell, they've won 4 playoff games since 2012. This morning, the Cowboys are in last place. Since 2015, they were also in last place. So in the last 5 years, they have 1 playoff win and 2 last place finishes. You are, my friends, who you hang out with. The third category of NFL teams is what I would call the eye roll teams. Overpay, even like some of them playing well now. It's Dallas, it's Arizona, Jets, Cleveland, Chicago, Buffalo, Jacksonville, Tampa, Chargers, Houston, Cincinnati, Raiders, Dolphins. They turn wins into losses. Last 25 years, longer droughts. A lot of embarrassment, too much drama, and they're just not winning big games. Just not winning big games. Kind of if they make the playoffs, it's one and done. Always have a new coach on the way. You never really think they get the coach right in most instances. It's kind of the eye roll. Dallas is there now. Last 25 years. Dallas has not stayed current. They overpay for running backs. They sign these long contracts to offensive linemen they now can't get out of, and they're old and injured. They spend way too much money on perimeter players sometimes and not enough on, like, their defensive front. They take gambles in the draft that other really well-run teams don't. Sometimes they develop players. A lot of times, though, the Steelers, Packers do. The Cowboys don't develop their players. The Cowboys on their Instagram put a picture of themselves at 25. They were hunks. They're now like 50. They're overweight. They're trying to fool everybody. This isn't a shot at Dallas. 25 years. You're the Lions. You're Washington with a bigger brand. You're the resort that people still think about, but you book a weekend there, you go with your wife, and you're like, man, the paint's peeling, the food's not very good. And you look out your window in Miami, and you're like, we should have stayed at that place. It's way more current. They got a better pool. It's where all the cool people are. It's not a shot at Dallas, but they're kind of in the eye roll. They're kind of in the eye roll club now. You kind of look at them and go, oh, yeah, oh, it's Cincinnati. Oh, it's Buffalo. Oh, it's Miami. And by the way, I think Buffalo and Miami over the next 10 years are going to move into the next level. I'm not going to give it to them now, but I think they're really close. But, I mean, last 25 years, Miami, you roll your eyes. You roll your eyes at the Jets. They got more playoff wins. So I was thinking about that. Everything happens for a reason. Everything, good or bad, happens for a reason. It just doesn't, it's luck isn't, fate and luck are nonsense. Like, stuff happens for a reason. There used to be a company before Facebook called MySpace. MySpace had, hundreds, millions of users, but over time it failed because their technology, they had too many issues with technology. Their marketing was spectacular, but Facebook had better technology. There's a reason everything happens. So I'm going to ask you, and you can go to Twitter, whatever. New England is this impeccably run organization, and they can't draft a wide receiver for 15 years. They had to go get Randy Moss and Wes Welker already in the league. You tell me why. Albert Breer was on earlier today, and I thought this was, you got to wait to the very end, though. But he talks about, could Cam Newton actually be back next year in Foxborough?
Would the Patriots be okay with bringing back Cam Newton for another year? I think they would be. Go back and look at the last 9 games of last year. Brady was 4-5 in those games, and his numbers were almost identical to the numbers that Cam's putting up now. Cam's passer rating through 11 games is 80. Brady's passer rating in the last 9 games of last year was 78. If there's an upgrade, I think they would go for it. Like, if Matt Stafford or Jimmy Garoppolo or somebody like that's available, I think that they would jump if they saw somebody as an upgrade. But I don't think they're as out on people on Cam Newton as people might think.
And the reason, Breer said, is they acknowledge in the building they're not good at getting wide receivers. N'Keal Harry's their last first-round wide receiver. Blocker, perhaps, can't get open, can't separate. So why can't this great football, this empirical football operation, get one position right? They've drafted great offensive linemen, great running backs, a great quarterback, great tight ends, great linebackers, pass rushers, corner safeties, kickers, punters. It is the single position in football they are awful at drafting. Why? I have a theory on this. I'm not going to give it to you. I have an absolute theory on this.
Why aren't you going to give it to us?
Because I want the audience, they always think they're smarter than me anyway, to give me their theory on it. Give me your theory. Maybe I should give it. It's a pretty remarkable theory. Want me to give you? It to you?
Well, are you going to look at responses and see?
Yeah, let's do that first.
What they have?
No, well, hey, listen, the audience always is asking me to, give them a more, but it's on you. Because I know, and by the way, the answer is often looking at other people who do it well. Why do we fail and they do something well? Why can't they? They've had great corners. It's not offense. They've had great tight ends, great running backs, great wide receivers, they got the quarterback down, the O-line down. Running backs are fine.
Well, they do a lot of unique things with their draft that other teams don't do.
Mm-hmm.
They have a limited draft board.
All right,
Belichick reportedly takes it over.
Just got a break. Nope, it's not that interesting a topic. Right. Maybe it's. I'm telling you right now, I got a theory on it. I have a belief. Maybe I'll write a book just on that topic. Be a short book, but nonetheless. Greg Jennings around the corner. Going to the grocery store is on everybody's to-do list, but I'm going now about once every 3 weeks. That's about it. I went the other day. Once every 3 weeks. They say that's where you get COVID. It's the most likely place, not restaurants, by the way.